Have you ever stood at a crossroads in life, holding a compass, a map, and Google Maps in your hands, asking for the opinions of hundreds of people, yet your feet dared not move a single inch? We live in an era that worships certainty. Before starting a new job, we want to know the exact promotion path for the next 5 years. Before loving someone, we want a guarantee that they will never hurt us. Before starting a project, we want to ensure a 100% success rate. We are afraid of mistakes. We are afraid of dead ends. And because of that fear, we choose to stand still. We think that standing still is safe, that it is wise. But my friend, for a river, standing still is death. Standing still turns fresh, clear water into a stagnant, foul swamp. Tonight, let your soul drift to the snowy peak of Origins, where there lived a small river named Ami. Ami was the only river in the world that refused to flow until she held in her hand a map to the ocean. But can any map truly draw the flow of destiny? This story is the answer for those who are hesitating to set sail. High on the towering peak of Origins, where white snow covers the ground year-round, the river Ami was born. At first, Ami was just a tiny underground vein of water, weaving through cold crevices. She was crystal clear, innocent, and carried within her a great aspiration. She wanted to reach the ocean. In her dreams, Ami heard the whispering waves, felt the salty taste of the sea, and sensing the infinite vastness. She knew that was home. But when Ami had gathered enough water to become a small stream and was ready to throw herself down the mountainside, she suddenly stopped. Before her lay a world too vast and chaotic. There were dark, dense forests. There were scorching, deadly deserts. There were deep, bottomless abysses. Ami was terrified. She wondered, what if I flow the wrong way? What if I flow into a desert and evaporate completely? What if I get stuck in a cave forever? Ami decided, I will not move until I know the exact way. She curled herself up into a small pool on the mountain peak and began her quest to ask for directions. The first person Ami asked was Old Man Pine, an ancient tree that had stood on this slope for 300 years. He was tall, silent, and seemed incredibly wise. Uncle Pine, Ami rippled softly, I want to go to the ocean. You have stood here for so long. Can you show me the safest path? Old Man Pine rustled his needle leaves, his voice booming like the whistling wind. Safe? You foolish child. There is no path that is safe. I have seen thousands of streams rush down there and never return. Why must you go? Is it not good here? The earth is solid. The roots go deep. Be like me. Stand still in one place. Sink your roots into the ground. That is the only way to survive for a long time. Ami shuddered upon hearing this. Stand still. But she was water, not a tree. If she stood still, she would no longer be herself. The advice of the pine was excellent for a tree, but it was a death sentence for a river. Ami did not listen, but she became even more confused. She continued to wait. A while later, a golden eagle flew past. His wingspan shadowed a corner of the sky, his sharp eyes seeing through 10,000 miles. Ami cried out, Brother Eagle, you fly so high, surely you can see the ocean. Please draw me a map. Which way should I flow? The eagle landed on a rocky outcrop, scoffing. The way is easy. From here, just flow straight east. Don't turn left, don't turn right. Just go in a straight line. I see it clearly from above. That is the shortest path. Ami was overjoyed. Finally, a specific instruction. Straight east! She gathered a bit of courage, trying to inch herself toward the east. But after only a few meters, She crashed into a vertical rock wall blocking the way. Splash! The water scattered painfully. Ami was dizzy. Brother Eagle lied. There is no path. There is only rock and stone. Ami did not understand that the eagle looked from the sky, where there were no obstacles. The bird's way is always a straight line, but the river's way lies on the ground, full of rugged barriers. The advice of the one flying in the sky cannot apply to the one crawling on the earth. Ami retreated, shrinking back into her pool. She lost faith. She asked the wind, asked the clouds, asked even the mountain goats. The wind told her, "Just fly up like me." The goat told her, "Just jump over the cliffs." Everyone gave advice based on their own experiences and abilities, but no one understood the nature of water. Day after day, Ami remained there. Her water began to turn murky. Fallen leaves started to rot within her. Moss began to grow. From a crystal-clear stream, Ami was slowly turning into a stagnant puddle. She wasn't dying from the dangers of the road. She was dying from her own safety. One afternoon, as Ami looked despairingly at her increasingly dirty body, an unexpected event occurred. It rained. A massive storm, unlike any seen before, poured down on the peak of Origins. Water from the sky flooded into Ami's pool. The volume of water increased abruptly. Ami swelled up. She felt a painful pressure. Her small banks could no longer contain her. "No, stop!" Ami screamed. "I am not ready. I don't have a map yet. I don't know which way to go." But the flood did not care about her readiness. The law of nature is undeniable. When the cup is full, it must spill over. Whoosh! The banks burst open. Ami was thrown out of her comfort zone. She had no other choice. She plunged down the mountainside. "Help me! I'm going to die!" Ami shrieked as she free fell down a 50-meter waterfall. The sensation of falling was terrifying. Her insides churned. She squeezed her eyes shut, waiting for the destructive impact. Splash! She landed in a deep pool below. Ami opened her eyes. She was still alive. Moreover, the powerful collision with the water surface had knocked away the moss and the rotting branches that had clung to her for so long. She felt lighter and a little clearer. But the current gave her no rest. She was swept away again. Ahead was a giant boulder blocking the flow. Ami remembered the eagle's words, "Go straight east." But the boulder lay directly to the east. If she crashed straight into it, she would shatter. In that life-or-death moment, the instinct of water awakened. Ami stopped thinking. She stopped analyzing. She let go. Instead of smashing into the boulder, she curved herself, slipped gently to the left, hugged the side of the rock, and flowed past it smoothly. Ami was stunned. "Oh, I just found the way myself." The way was not in the east. The way was in flexibility. Ami continued to flow. She encountered a dense forest. There was no path at all. Trees grew tightly together. Ami panicked. "How do I get through this?" But when her water touched the earth, the soil softened. She wove through the tree roots. Her weight created a small groove. The more she flowed, the deeper the groove became. The deeper it became, the stronger the water flowed. And then, Ami realized a shocking truth. The river does not follow a pre-existing path. The river creates the path as it flows. Ami didn't need a map, because a map is static, but the terrain is dynamic. When she met soft soil, she dug deep. When she met hard rock, she went around. When she met a deep abyss, she became a majestic waterfall. When she met a flat plain, she widened her heart, flowing leisurely and gently, nourishing the fields on both sides. Every bend, every obstacle was not an enemy stopping her from reaching the ocean. They were sculptors. They shaped her form. They taught her how to roar as a waterfall, taught her patience as a lake, taught her humility as she flowed underground. If there had been a map pointing a straight line, Ami would have been nothing but a soulless water pipe. It was the twists and turns that gave the river its beauty and character. Ami flowed on and on. She passed through villages where children bathed in her cool embrace. She passed through cities where neon lights reflected shimmering shadows upon her surface. She realized that happiness was not just at the destination of the ocean. Happiness lay in the fact that she was bringing life to everything along the way. And then, one early morning, the air felt different. There was a salty scent. There was a whispering call echoing from afar. The river mouth widened immensely. The banks could no longer be seen. Ami felt herself dissolving, merging into something billions of times greater than herself. The ocean. She had arrived, but not as the bewildered little stream holding a map asking for directions. She arrived as a mature river, carrying rich silt, carrying the memories of the old forest, the high mountains, and the deep abysses. The ocean opened its arms to welcome her. "Welcome home, my child." The ocean boomed with the voice of the waves. "How did you find the way?" Ami smiled, blending into the deep blue water. "Mother, I did not find the way. I became the way." At that moment, Ami understood that her old anxiety on the mountain peak was meaningless. No one can show the way for a river, because every river has a unique destiny. The only way to know where you are going is to start flowing. My dear friend, the story of the river Ami has ended, but the flow of your life is still waiting for the command to start. Are you holding on to a plan, a dream, but hesitating because you cannot see the entire route clearly? You want to start a business, but fear the market will fluctuate. You want to write a book, but fear no one will read it. You want to change yourself, but fear failure? Remember, Ami, there will never be a perfect map for your life. Because life is not geography. Life is an uncertain flow. The people who advise you, like Old Man Pine or the Eagle, can only advise based on their perspective, not yours. Do not wait until you see the destination clearly to start walking. Think of a car driving at night. Its headlights only illuminate 50 meters ahead, yet you can drive 1,000 miles with just those 50 meters of light. As long as you travel the first 50 meters, the next 50 will reveal themselves. The journey only becomes clear when you start moving. Obstacles will appear, certainly. But when you face them, your survival instinct and wisdom will tell you whether to turn left, turn right, or break through. You are smarter than you think, and you are stronger than you imagine. But that intelligence and strength are only activated in a dynamic state, not in a static one. Do not let yourself become a stagnant pool on the mountain peak, growing moss in safety and regret. Throw yourself down. Accept the collisions. Let the flow of life sculpt the magnificent person you are meant to be. Take the first step tomorrow, or better yet, tonight. Stop asking for directions. Create the path. Thank you for listening. Wishing you a peaceful night, and may the river within your heart soon find its own ocean.